is brought to you by NRL Group Incorporated. I'd like to welcome Janet Stewart-Lussier. She is a professional speaker and trainer who helps organizations develop high-performance work teams and is the author of Let's Talk Team Building, 10 Strategies for Becoming a High-Performance Team Member. Welcome, Janet.
Thanks, Birette.
What is our topic for today?
Today we're going to look at constructive feedback, the dreaded constructive feedback. When someone says to you, "Do you mind if I give you some feedback?" most people would go running and screaming in the other direction. And none of us has really generally been taught how to give feedback in such a way that it's heard in the way that you hoped or intended for it to be heard. So often we open our mouths and we start rambling, and then one thing leads to another, and before you know it, a conflict arises. So if you keep in mind a simple acronym, DESC, D-E-S-C, that will help you the next time you have to give someone corrective or constructive feedback. DESC is an acronym that stands for Describe, Affect, Suggest, and Contract. Let's look at each piece. Describe. This is where people tend to go off on tangents. They think that describing the behavior needs to be some long, flowery explanation. Well, no. Keep it simple. Keep it short. Describe the behavior accurately and concisely. Whatever happened, just say it. You missed the meeting yesterday. It's clear. It's simple. It's exactly what happened. So you want to try and not get the person on the defensive right from the beginning. You want to start out specific and neutral, and this step really answers the question, what happened? So if we look at the example, I noticed that you were not at the meeting yesterday. That's a clear statement of what happened. The next step, E, is for effect. Describe the effect or the impact of the behavior on you or on your team or on your family or whatever the group is. It answers the question, so what? For example, as a result of you not being at the meeting, I'm worried that the deadline for the project is in jeopardy. It's a reflection of some thoughts and feelings on your part. The third step, S, is for suggest. Suggest the changes that the team member could make to improve a situation. It's really important at this step to emphasize that the more specific and descriptive the statement is, the more effective an assertion it's going to be. It answers the question, now what? Remember, we had what, so what, and now what. It might sound like this. I'd like you to attend the project meeting scheduled for tomorrow at 3 o'clock. It's a clear statement of preference. Finally, C stands for contract. Contract with the team member or the person you're interacting with to get a commitment to put that suggestion into place. And you need to think about what's in it for them. Why would they want to go along with your suggestion? In this case, it might sound like, that way, the team will be sure to consider your input into the solution. Remember, when you offer the gift of feedback, and I say it's a gift because it really is a tool for someone to improve, when you offer a desk statement, it's not as though you're just going to walk down the hallway and say this and then keep on walking. It's going to end up invoking a conversation. But if you do have to tackle some difficult feedback with someone, it's helpful, to me anyways, if you take a piece of paper and you write down DESC down one side of the paper and then sketch out your thoughts about each of those pieces on it. In that way, when you go to deliver the feedback, you don't just start rambling and go off on a tangent and then the person pokes holes in your feedback and before you know it's a mess. I think it's a way to help you keep the feedback objective and on track and end up being received in the way that you hoped it would be.
That is excellent advice, and I love how you suggest that we take a piece of paper, prepare in advance with the acronym DESC for Describe, Affect, Suggest, and Contract, and then we go give the feedback. Wonderful. Thank you, Janet. If you want to find out more about giving and receiving feedback as well as other tips on building high-performance workplaces, you can visit Janet's website at letstalkteambuilding.com, where you can download audio files of her entire book or just the chapters that are of interest to you. Again, that website is letstalkteambuilding.com. And if you'd like to contact Janet and her team directly, you can do so by email at janet@letstalkteambuilding.com. Thanks for being with us today, Janet, and I look forward to our next podcast on influencing skills.